Hello esports fans, and welcome here to this game of StarCraft that was found on reddit.com/r/castit. I will be your host, Thaco, and we will see spawning in the lower right-hand position of our map, which is Newkirk Precinct, it will be our red Protoss player, Bambi. And his opponent in the bottom left-hand position, as the blue Terran player, it is Mistywish. This will be a PvT matchup. We will see what these players decide to go for here momentarily. We see Mistywish grabbing that nice wall off at his ramp. Not the most important move in the Protoss v Terran matchup, Terran v Protoss matchup, because there's not a whole lot of stuff that's going to run across at you early in the game. But you know, in the event that there is a Zealot run by, it's just nice to have the wall off. It's also good play. Pretty standard for that point with Terran. And it looks like we have Bambi going for that gateway in his main base, then sending out his probe as a scout to find out what his opponent is going for. But most likely, he'll be met with a wall off. It's always good, though, to make sure that your opponent doesn't decide to go for some crazy proxy rack somewhere out on the map. And that is something you'll discover by sending your scout out. He'll see into the opponent's base and be, oh, the barracks is missing. I need to go hunt for it. And we see Bambi grabbing both those gas geysers very early. It looks like he will not be sticking on the Zealots or going for that expansion incredibly early, but instead will be teching up almost instantly for a little aggression. And his scout actually does get into the base. It does see the barracks. It does see the timing on that orbital command. And it might even see the Reaper that is popping out for Mistywish. Depending on, it's actually now stuck in the base, so it will see the Reaper if it is up at that north side at the exact right moment. The cybernetics core is on the way back home for Bambi. And Bambi will get his base scouted very successfully by Mistywish in the form of that Reaper. Also, the engineering bay block just instinctively going down for Mistywish, not even waiting to see if his opponent decides to go for the natural expansion early. Just going to spend the minerals, get that block off, wants the reassurance that he's ahead, or actually tied on base count at this point in time, getting that as close to finished as he can so it has as much health as possible before sending that SCV up into the base to get a little scouting done. He sees the cybernetics core working away on that warp gate research. He sees something being chrono boosted out of the gateway, and can assume it was a Zealot. Zealot will chase him down, and does it see it sees this engineering bay and will kill that off as quickly as possible. And this Reaper, actually, its successful scouting time is limited. It needs to get a good scout off before that Stalker pops out, which is actually momentarily. And it's important that Bambi, or Mistywish, not try to kill off probes, but rather just use this as a scouting intel. And it looks like he might just get it out with 10 health. He does get it out, and the Stalker and the Zealot will dedicate to killing off this engineering bay. We're back home. We see Mistywish not going for more Reapers, really just getting that one to get the scouting information, then switching back over to Marine production, getting that bunker on the way for the defense, also tossing down the command center. And now, Bambi, after having cleared out that engineering bay, also tosses down his own base. So, Mistywish doesn't exactly know the timing of the base, but he knows generally that his opponent successfully killed off the engineering bay. So his opponent can now expand, and he will send the Reaper up just to confirm that, sees the expansion on the way, and knows that they are going to be tied on base counts for quite a while longer. Also just sees this pylon going down behind the mineral line. That's usually a great place for Protoss to try to hide a little tech, because Terran can't always get a unit back there to get the scout off. This Stalker will be rebuffed quite easily by this bunker, and it will have to retreat. This natural expansion just finishing up now for Mistywish. Mistywish continuing to get out those Marines. The Marines going to go on a little offensive here to try to clear out this Zealot and Stalker. They want to be as close to the bunker as they can, though, and they will actually just run right by the bunker, completely ignoring that, and get right into that mineral line. Going to try to pick off as many SCVs as they can. The first Zealot does fall. Only one SCV has fallen so far. The second does fall, but this Stalker will also fall. That is not the most cost-efficient trade for Bambi, because he killed off 2 workers at the cost of a Zealot and a Stalker. Now, whereas the worker has a longer useful lifespan over the course of the game, more minerals were lost in the form of those aggressive units from Bambi. Mistywish does not have this command center rally to a mineral patch yet. There we go. After that first SCV does pop out, he decides to rally that. Adding on quite a few more barracks and a factory, keeping this Reaper sitting up here. It's getting ready to sneak down in a little later and get that scout off. The mothership core has come out for Bambi. It's a nice early game aggressive unit because it has that recall ability, so you can send your troops across the map, do a little damage, and then when this situation gets sticky or turns south, you just recall home. Also has that nice photon overcharge ability that you can use on the Nexus to turn it into a giant cannon and really defend yourself as well as possible. And the Reaper sounds like he's in the base. Where is he? There he is. He's getting a scout on everything here. He sees the mothership core, and that force field with such excellent placement does pick off that Reaper. That was a very well-placed force field. Fortunately, his units are getting a little confused by it as well. And the hidden tech that went down behind the mineral line was a pair of gateways and a forge. Not really the most surprising hidden tech, but this little marine shove is going to push out across the field for Mistywish because he's seen exactly what his opponent has at this point in time, thinks he can take it, and wants to get a little damage done if at all possible. The observer from Bambi is just now making it across the map. Stim packs have just started. +1 is done for Mistywish. Stim packs just starting here at the 10-minute mark. It's a little late for Stim packs. The starport landing on the reactor and starting to churn out medevacs. Wants to get those out early so his aggression can survive a little longer. Drops can come into play, and his units just won't die quite as quickly. But he is going to make this shove. That mothership has enough energy for the cannon, but he might want to just burn the cannon, get the energy off the mothership core. He pulls out without losing a single marine. A lot of damage going onto this one, but that was a good use. Burn the energy on the mothership core. Now, once his medevacs are done, he can come across. The Nexus cannon in the form of that photon overcharge will be over, and he can shove again and get a little more damage done. The Immortal is now on the way. Okay, good single target damage done, but the Marines actually do not get affected by its hardened shield ability, so they will actually just tear through that Immortal. Blink is also on the way here for Bambi. He has that Twilight Council done already, and he has also upped himself up to both of the Templar tech paths in the form of either that Dark Templar or that High Templar, and the wonderful, wonderful ability, which is Storm. Got this Observer just chilling over here. Stalker sitting there, really scouting out the timing of that third base. Stalker here, and a little bit of an engagement has been joined here. This force fields did force everything back. Looks like nothing actually made it through there. Just damage was exchanged on both sides. Maybe a unit or two was picked off. They're just, poking away at each other, testing each other's strength. +1 armor upgrades are on the way, as well as the Templar Archives for Bambi, which means he will have access to the High Templar and the Storm ability. This Observer will see the army coming home. Even, actually, he had an Observer over here which saw the army leave, and this one will see that it came all the way home to defend the third base, the establishment of the third base for Mistywish. Mistywish is actually behind in supply, just pulled ahead of Bambi. Very tied up supply. Not the worst situation for either player. Scan just went down in the main base of Bambi. He sees that Templar Archive on the way. He sees it researching. He should know that Templar are on the way, and we will have to see the reaction on the Ghost Academy. Ghosts are the greatest answer to the Templar, but we don't really see a high gas income yet for Mistywish, so it's going to be hard to produce enough Ghosts to really be effective against the Templar. So maybe just mass units is the strategy that he wants to use at this point, because we actually still did not see the Ghost Academy going down. Ghosts do require a lot of micro and are hard to use, but they are the greatest answer to the Ghosts, or to the Templar. The army is once again moving out. Scan goes down right outside the main to try to pick off that Observer there. And units are just streaming across the map here for Mistywish. He is ready to go. He is loading up all of his units into medevacs. He might go for the Doom Drop, or he might just, made it look like he was going home, and then at the last second peeled off 2 medevacs. These 2 medevacs, I got that. Okay, these 2 medevacs will be going around back behind the main base, but it looks like there was an Observer there. Did he quite get the corner view on that? He definitely did. 2 pylons going down. There are a lot of Stalkers over here. Can he get into the mineral line before time is called? He's going to go for the pylons first. He wants to force the supply block. Couple Marauders starting to take pot shots at the at the probes. A lot of Zealots getting warped in there. This is going to turn... Oh, the Zealots getting canceled because the pylon was picked off. They have to be rewarped in a little higher up. Once those Zealots are in, they can pick off a lot of this bio. But they are in a little bit of a choke point there, and he's actually just going to kill off the Zealots because the Zealots are attacking the Marauders, and the Photon Overcharge ability goes down on the Nexus, but he's going to try to shove in there and start taking out tech structures. But that Photon Overcharge is now starting to do a lot of damage as a lot of the army is now being pulled back, and what does he decide to do? He decides to pull out and leave. Feedback does go down on one of the medevacs, but because the medevacs were healing that entire time, they did not have full energy, and they did not die. And it looks like behind this, the +2 infantry weapons and +2 infantry armor upgrades are on the way for Mistywish. He is just now getting that Ghost Academy. He saw the High Templar in action and now knows that he desperately needs them. It wasn't just like a trick Archon play or something. Even getting those Widow Mines out. And does he have that Burrowing Claws upgrade? He does not yet, so those aren't going to be quite as aggressive of a unit yet as they could be if they had that. It's going to be much more dependent on whether or not he gets them placed down at the right times. And it looks like he's going to just, at the moment, use them defensively to cover that third entrance to that third base, getting more medevacs out onto the field, even moving another drop across the bottom of the map. You're going to land that again in the main base. Is he going to go for pylons or probes this time? It looks like he's going to go for the probes. He wants to try to mess with that mineral income, and there are Zealots being morphed in here, but they're going to be taken out almost instantly right before they're done spawning. They're going after the Marauders still, and there is another Photon Overcharge being laid down on that main base. The Mothership core is now so low on energy. It's down to 45-ish. I think 75 is the cheapest at Time Warp. He's not going to be able to use that efficiently. Tossing down 4 more gateways, though. Getting those High Templar out onto the field, even getting those upgrades. Believe those should be the +3 armor, +2 attack upgrades, as well as the Zealot charge upgrade. Those upgrades are for the ground, of course. And the Mobius reactor is going down for the Ghost Academy. He wants to get those ghosts out onto the field, and he wants them to be as efficient as possible as soon as they hit the field. Adding on additional barracks here, that should take him up to 9 barracks. And 4 of his barracks currently have tech labs on them, so he's going heavily for that Marauder Ghost style play. Adding on another command center here, probably eventually going to fly it up top, but the army of Bambi is on the move. There are 5 High Templar here, all with high levels of energy. Those storms are going to be devastating. The observers allow him to find those Widow Mines almost instantly. The storm goes down, missing almost everything, just clipping the back edge of one of those Marauders, and he will now move back to this pylon that will be used to warp in his reinforcement. Even has a backup one back here should he have to retreat a little farther. And will this combat be met? Bambi is down almost 30 supply. He needs to start warping in large quantities of units. That single Marine trying to find where the army is. He spots the very edge of it. He knows where those High Templar are. And there are currently 5 ghosts on the map. 6 more about to hit the field. This is going to be a huge ghost count. And they should just absolutely decimate that High Templar force of Bambi's. Both through that snipe ability right onto the High Templar, effectively neutralizing the threat of them and those EMPs being laid down, wiping out all of the shields of those Archons. There's only 1 Archon, but just a couple EMPs on that army will just destroy it. Those Zealots will melt away. I mean, the Archon may as well be dead after the EMP hits it, and those High Templar won't last long, but that was an excellent blink forward. There are the EMPs being laid down. They did not hit very much. It looks like nothing. No EMPs hit. Those EMPs are going to be crucial. They are going to be the game changer. But good EMP is laid down. This army means nothing. This army will be done in an instant. And Bambi knows that a little bit. Bambi is starting to make Plan B behind this, and Plan B is the Colossi. The Colossi will be used, and it hasn't been scouted yet, but it looks like he is just blindly making Vikings to counter the possible transition into it. There's another pylon up here in the top position that can be used to flank with Zealots back around behind this army of Mistywish, which is clumping up so nicely. Those ghosts just using their guns trying to take out this. A couple snipes go down, getting off. It looks like the High Templar was one there. That just falls so quickly. Those are costly drops. These do not have cloak. They cannot afford to be here. Another High Templar gets sniped off. No ghosts have fallen yet. They are doing a good job. Another High Templar falls. Storm goes down, clipping the back edge of those, but it does not get it. EMP goes down, wiping away a shield on a lot of those Zealots. but they do not die yet. Blink forward right into the ghosts. They're trying to kill those off, but they do not get it. The ghosts, they are in jeopardy right now. They cannot fall. That would be too great a loss. That pylon does fall, making that fact there are no good reinforcement angles here quite yet. Looks like more troops are coming down here after cleaning up the single stalker that was forcing this from not being in base. The observer is still here. He knows exactly where that is, and there is still this pylon up top. Ghosts are once again moving out. They lay down huge EMPs across that entire army. There are shields on almost none of the units. Bambi here, but Bambi's zealots just charge right in there and kill off all of the ghosts. Huge storms hitting the main part of his army, but that first Colossi will fall momentarily. It is down. Ghosts are gone, and huge EMPs have hit this army. Those zealots have no shields. They will melt away to those marauders, but another huge storm. There is no health left on any of this bio, and there is the photon overcharge ability here. Another huge storm takes up even more of the shields, and this bio army has just melted away. There's nothing here. Bambi currently holds the supply lead, getting in another Archon because his High Templars were out of energy. And those storms just decimated that army. Great EMPs led off that engagement for Mistywish, but he did not dodge any of those storms, and as a result, his army melted away, getting in additional Colossi, getting more ghosts. All of his ghosts were lost in that engagement, getting that ship weapons upgrade so his Vikings can more efficiently deal with the Colossi, and just trying to refresh his Marine count so that in the next engagement, he can still be a force to be reckoned with. But at the moment, Bambi is up by almost 10 supply. Bambi is tossing down his third base to even up the base count. Bambi is getting a good foothold in this game. It is one that the Terran player Mistywish cannot long afford to let him have. Now getting 8 more ghosts out onto the field. This observer going around trying to find everything. It looks like this pylon has been discovered. That probe will be taken out. The pylon will be removed, and it will no longer be a potential threat of a flank attack coming out of that. Bambi's army is moving forward a little bit. Mistywish needs to be careful. If this army hits him, he's not quite prepared to handle that yet. Colossi are hanging back. It looks like it's just going to be the Zealots and the Archons. No, okay, he pulls back. He just wanted to take out some of the front runners. He scans the army. He sees what is there, but he does not see the whole army. If he thinks this is the whole army, he might move out, but it looks like he knows something is missing, and he will not move out quite yet. This observer has view on the entire army of Mistywish. Well, almost the entire army. He's missing that, just the back 2 medevacs, and that +3 weapons upgrade is on the way for Bambi. Bambi will currently hold that lead, but there's a drop up here in the top base that should take out this Nexus. These High Templar are going to try to come in, maybe a storm and a feedback to take out the medevac. The medevac is fallen, Archon being morphed. That was an excellent, that medevac was so full on energy, but the Nexus still falls. That base was taken out for the cost of a medevac and maybe a couple Marines. Marines will no longer run, the Marines will fall here. The entire army was pulled back to take care of that, and that does allow Mistywish to get his army out further across the map, start invading more and more into that space of Bambi. Bambi's army, though, still in a position where it can absolutely crush this force of Mistywish. It really right now comes down to engagement angle, comes down a little bit to upgrades. It also comes down to who uses their energy units more efficiently. Can the Ghosts neutralize the High Templar, or will the High Templar just land those amazing storms that just crush all bio armies? These are the questions that will be answered momentarily as we wait for 3 more Vikings to come out onto the field, and after that, both armies will be maxed out and no longer be producing. Both players will be building up banks, and whoever builds up the higher bank will get that potential for the refresh in their army quicker. And it looks like the army of Bambi is starting to posture out across the map. He's coming up into this potential 4th base. The rocks are still there, so it can't be a 4th base. But there it is. The Colossi are getting a huge storm, just crushes everything. 2, 3, 4 storms just landed. All that bio melts away. The Zealots not even caring. They're running through it. The bio is just gone. There is no bio, and combat hasn't even been met yet. Those were just amazing storms. The Vikings trying to get work done on the Colossi, but they can't get anything done. This 3rd base is just forfeit. It will have to retreat as those Colossi and Zealots just tear through everything. There's nothing here for Mistywish. Mistywish just fell completely to those storms. Those were just beautiful, beautiful storms. All of the medevacs will fall. There are no medevacs. There is almost no bio. These are the only Marines on the field right now. 15 Marines, 1 Widowmine, 2 what looks like 2 Colossi, 3 Archon, 5 still almost fully energized High Templar. The storm's going down on the SCV, so they can't repair the planetary fortress. That Widowmine was discovered and taken out. This is just not a good situation, and Mistywish leaves the game, and Bambi wins. Oh, those storms were so good, just crushing the force of Mistywish. Oh, congratulations to Bambi on that amazing win. Just got to such a better engagement. The perfect engagement was met there. Mistywish didn't stand a chance. once again, congratulations to Bambi. That was an amazing game. And I hope you will all join me for more games of StarCraft in the future. Thank you all. Good night.